Hi everyone. Today we are getting into the part 5 of respiration in organisms. In part 4 we have seen what are all the organs involved in the breathing process. Now we are going to see the mechanism of breathing. So in organs involved, just recall yourself, there are so many organs are involved in the breathing process. It starts from nostrils and then nasal cavity, pharynx, trachea, lungs. In lungs, bronchi, bronchioles, at last alveoli is present. The actual exchange of gases takes place in the alveoli. Okay. Now we get into the process of breathing. What is the mechanism behind breathing? Breathing is nothing but inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation meaning taking in good air. Exhalation meaning releasing out foul air. How we can differentiate whether it is a good air or foul air? The air which contains a high amount of, that is rich amount of oxygen is called good air. We know that air is a mixture of gases. It contains oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen and some other gases too. So while inhaling, we not only inhaling the oxygen, we are inhaling all the gases present in the atmosphere. But the amount of oxygen present in the atmosphere is rich, so only the oxygen alone enters into our lungs and it will transported in the blood and it reach the cell. So that air is called good air. While releasing out, we are releasing carbon dioxide content air, so that is called foul air. Let's see in detail. Breathing is a physical process. Why we are saying it's a physical process? Because no chemical reaction takes place in this inhalation and exhalation process. Okay, the first one is inhalation. Inhalation meaning intake of air is called inhalation. What happens while during inhalation? First, the diaphragm muscle contract. See, we have seen the thoracic cavity in the last class. Thoracic cavity starts from neck and ends with diaphragm. Diaphragm plays an important role in this breathing process. While inhaling, the diaphragm muscles contract. So, actually diaphragm is a dome shape. While during contraction, what happens? The diaphragm is pulled down. So, when the diaphragm pulls down, what happens? The space of the thoracic cavity becomes enlarged. That is, the actual thoracic cavity is from neck to diaphragm. When the diaphragm gets pulled down, the space of the lungs becomes increased. So the lungs starts to expand. So the more volume of oxygen it can able to accommodate within it. Because lungs is a spongy substance. It can also contract and relax. So when the diaphragm pull down, the lungs which is present on the diaphragm, it starts to becomes expand. So it can able to hold more volume of air within it. So when the volume increases, there is a relationship between volume and pressure. I said while lungs expand, it can able to hold more amount of volume of oxygen. I repeat, while diaphragm is pulled down, the space occupied by the lung is enlarged, it expands. When the lungs expand, the volume which can able to adapt, the air which can able to trap inside the lung can also be increased. There is a relationship between volume and pressure. When the volume increases, pressure decreases. So usually volume and pressures are inversely proportional. I hope you people studied in physics or hereafter you will study in your further classes. Volume and pressure is inversely proportional. When the volume increases, the pressure decreases. So the air pressure decreases. Here the pressure which is present in the lungs is decreased while comparing to the air in the atmosphere. I hope you understand. The pressure of the air which is present in the lungs is decreased while comparing to the pressure in the atmosphere. Due to this, the pressure which is increased in the atmosphere is getting enter into the lungs. Now the lungs which can occupy the pressure of the high atmospheric air. So this process is called inhalation. Inhalation is nothing but intake of air. During inhalation, the diaphragm is pulled down so that we will get more space of thoracic cavity. Due to this, the lung can expand. So the pressure which is present in the atmosphere, high atmosphere, so it will enters into the lungs. It can occupy more amount of air. So this is inhalation. Now exhalation. Just opposite process, exhalation, that is release of air. The amount of the air which we released is rich in carbon dioxide. In this process, what happens? The diaphragm muscles expand. Because of this expand, the diaphragm is pulled up, just opposite to inhalation. The diaphragm is pulled up, so the thoracic cavity space will be decreased. Due to the decrease in the space, the lungs cannot occupy much amount of air within it. So what happened? While comparing the volume is decreased here. So the pressure will automatically increase while comparing to the atmosphere. So the pressure in the lungs and atmosphere is different. That is, atmospheric pressure is somewhat lower while comparing to the lung atmosphere. So the carbon dioxide, the air which is present in the lungs, is automatically released out and it will get into the atmosphere. That is called exhalation. So I repeat, in exhalation, diaphragm expands, so it is pulled up. So the space occupied in the thoracic cavity is decreased. Because of this, the lung contract, so it cannot occupy much amount of air in it. So because of the volume decreases, pressure increases. Because of the increased pressure, the air present in the lungs will be released out to the atmosphere, and this process is called exhalation. Now this is the process you can able to see here, inhalation and exhalation. While inhalation, the lung expands, while exhalation, the lung contract. While contract, the amount of air present in the lungs will be expelled out. So the X here represents expelled out. Inhalation, the intake of air, it is recognized as in. So the process of inhalation and exhalation was given here. The very important doubtful question for all the one is, do we inhale only oxygen and exhale only carbon dioxide? See, in atmosphere, air is present. Air is a mixture of gas. It contains nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and some other gas. But we are talking only that when we are inhaling oxygen and oxygen is trapped in the alveoli and exchange of gases takes place, we are talking. And in the same time, carbon dioxide is released from the cell, again enter into the alveoli and it will be released from our lungs during exhalation process. What about the other gases? Inhalation, what happens? The gases, all the gases present in the air will be inhaled through our nostrils. But the oxygen is the only content which can able to bind with the blood cells. And blood cells is rich in hemoglobin. So if people hear this word hemoglobin, the oxygen alone, not other gases, the oxygen present in the air alone binds with the hemoglobin which is present in the red blood cells, because alveoli is a part where the exchange of gases takes place. After that, it will travel through the blood only to all parts of the body. So while traveling, only oxygen alone will combine with this hemoglobin, and that hemoglobin is called oxyhemoglobin. Then it will enters into the cell. In the same time, the carbon dioxide is also released by this way. Okay, so inhaled air, the composition of the inhaled air is, see, we are talking only about oxygen and carbon dioxide, so that percentage only I am given here. While inhaling, we are inhaling 21% of oxygen from the atmosphere, and it also contains carbon dioxide, but the percentage is very less, 0.04%. While inhaling, we are inhaling 21% oxygen, at the same time 0.04% carbon dioxide. While exhaling the air, we are releasing 16.4% oxygen and 4.4% carbon dioxide. So here we can say, ma'am, we are releasing 16.4 while comparing to 4.4. So whether we are releasing oxygen, you can ask, but that we should not compare these oxygen and carbon dioxide. You have to compare the inhaled air and the exhaled air oxygen content. In inhalation, 21% we are inhaling the oxygen, but while releasing just 16.4% only we are releasing. At the same time, while inhaling carbon dioxide, we are inhaling 0.04%, but we are exhaling 4.4% carbon dioxide. So in net we can say, so while inhaling 21%, that is increased amount of oxygen is inhaled, while exhaling increased amount of carbon dioxide is released. So the net result is what? We are inhaling oxygen and we are exhaling carbon dioxide. We will continue in the next class. Thank you.